I don't have an external mic. I just want to feel like a real YouTuber. Hello and welcome back to Just Kiss My Frog. Today we're going to be talking about something very serious, a serious subject, networking. Now, if you can't do it, you're going to die. Darling, it's all about networking. If you can't network, well, how are you going to get a job? How are you going to live? How are you going to make friends? Oh, darling, it's not about what you know, it's who you know. The word networking used to fill me with dread, mainly because when I heard the word networking, what I really heard was disingenuous way of connecting with people to get what you want. And also because I felt like all of my actual experience, all of my actual skills were going to be invalidated if I couldn't do this one thing. I have since learned that networking is not about being an extrovert and it's not about using people. If you want to use those terms, I networked my way to London and I networked my way into all these big jobs and I networked my way to YouTube stardom. What I actually did was find people that I had common ground with who I genuinely want to care about and be friends with. Whether we both have room for that in our lives or time for that in our lives is another matter, but there's definitely, with most people I network with, it's an intention of friendship, or at least a mutual respect and like care about each other professionally and personally. When I was coming into the publishing and coming into London, I was kind of at this point where I was like, I don't know anybody in publishing and I don't know anybody in London. I started talking to people, which meant I started getting invited to parties and social events and things, and I started meeting people in publishing and I started making genuine friends with them. Not because I was trying to get a job in publishing, because at that point I wasn't really sure, because I was trying to explore different things, find out about different people. I wanted to hear about what it was like to live in London. I wanted to know about these people in these creative industries, or trying to get into these creative industries. And it was through networking and getting to know these people that I realised that that is what I want, and I had so much in common with these people. We had a common enthusiasm for an industry, for a topic, for a way of doing things. Since then, I've been working for big and small publishing companies for the last 5 years, and I've bloody loved it. In every single job that I've had, I've known people in, or but I haven't networked my way there, but there's always been this like recognition that I've already had a contact with that company or that idea or that topic. And that's been brought about by getting over my fear of networking. Now, another reason why I was like, am I the person who's supposed to make this video? I asked myself that question because I think, an extrovert. A mid-trovert, I definitely need time on my own, but the prospect of talking to people doesn't, in general, instill fear in me. But I definitely still walk into rooms and go, I'm not clever enough to be in this room. I don't know enough to be in this room. I still hide in the toilet sometimes. I think I was a really kind of shy child. It was only when I met my extroverted best friend Ra and kind of got into theatre and got into churchy stuff as well, and was thrown into these groups of people all the time, that I became somebody who felt okay in those situations. And I don't say I always feel comfortable in those situations, but I always feel like I will still be me at the end of it, or I don't feel like I'm actually literally going to self-implode in those situations. So I took some notes on how I think networking can be a fun thing and a cool thing, and how to get through it, or how to thrive as a networker. And some of the notes that I made showed me that I am actually kind of scared of networking, even though part of me was like, I shouldn't make a video on networking because I find it easy, and I shouldn't make a video because I'm not the person who's nervous networking. But from these notes and from the memories that it brought up, I was like, oh hell, I am such a nervous networker. Here are some tips on what to do when you're in a situation where people are expecting you to network, or you might even just want to network. Cliche bit of advice, everybody is nervous in these situations. You start to get to know this when you hang around with like quite powerful people in industries, people who are directors and you know, archbishops of their industries, and they're still like, do you think that talk went okay? Or, oh, do you know anybody here? Like, they're still nervous, amazing people. And I think that's another thing, that people think you're just networking with powerful people because they can get you something. Actually, these powerful people have really interesting stories about how they got there. It's not automatically inherently weird to want to know people who are higher up than you, who have got the kind of positions that you want, or the positions that you're interested in. I think if you love your industry, that's a natural thing that you're going to want to do. I believe wholeheartedly that networking is not a creepy thing unless you make it a creepy thing, unless you make it superficial. And there definitely have been times when I feel snubbed, or feel used, or feel like people are just trying to see what they can get out of me and then moving on. But we're all intelligent humans. Everybody can sniff those people out. People in my industry know who those people are. And by all of the lovely people I know in my industries, it's not what they're about. They're not here to judge you. Yeah, everybody's nervous in those situations. Everybody is struggling for things to say, and everybody is scared of silence. Why do you think British people talk about the weather all of the time? One of the things that feels like a false thing to do, again, there'll be a lot of constructs in these things, but it's not bad to be prepared. One of the things I do is prep conversation pieces. Now, this isn't like I rehearse what I'm going to say or say something formal about the thing I'm supposed to be talking about and what the networking thing is about. I more just kind of like think of something funny that happened to me that day, you know, something weird that I saw in the tube, or something, some weird bit of news that I saw that I was like, did you know that Melania Trump has a stunt double? Weird facts that I might have read in a book, weird places that I'd been that week that were like unusual and maybe people hadn't heard about. And I think of 3 things in my head on the way to the event and be like, okay, if I'm stuck for what to say, these are the kind of things that are just like normal human things that everybody's interested in and everybody experiences. Try and not make those things Netflix shows, because not everybody watches that. And I'm always like, oh, when people are like, have you watched that show? Oh. Like, try and make them more funny, relatable, human things, bits of news, bits of science about human behaviour. One of my ones used to be, I'm actually doing the publicity for this author at the moment who is writing about the history of words. Do you know that the word for the measurement of toothpaste you put on your toothbrush is a nurdle? Yeah, I know, like a nurdle of toothpaste. How weird is that? Do you know what? I was in the City of London the other day and I found out this very fun fact about the City of London. I don't know, you can do it. You're interesting people. Having those openers that are funny or at least interesting put people at ease. They're things that are kind of like irrelevant but also engaging, and tell the person something about you, that you're interested in lots of different things and you're a whole person, rather than just like, hello, my name is Luna, I work for the Ministry of Magic. Like, you're a whole person. Arrive as a whole person. Remember that you're a whole person. Have little anecdotes to fill the silences that you fear as a whole person. The second one is have a ritual. Now, this is a weird one that I developed just, I think from when I was a really nervous person, especially like even going to parties as a kid, I'd like do this. But when I'm like knocking on a door, or I'm about to go into an entrance, or, you know, enter somewhere, I have this thing where I just like make sure I swallow. And it's like slows me down. I'm doing it now, I'm nervous. It slows me down. I have this thing in my head that I'm like, if I haven't swallowed, I can't go in. If I haven't, I just do one big gulp and then I go in. And I don't know what it is, but it gives me this kind of like grounding and like this, okay, I did the swallow, let's go. I just realised what that sounds like. Enjoy that. Gift me. Number 3, it's okay to tell little white lies. I don't mean like white lies like, actually I'm the CEO of the world. I mean more white lies in that you might be looking for something that you're actually not looking for, or you don't know the answer to a question that you actually know the answer to. So say if I'm at a conference, I might be like, oh, sorry, do you know where the loos are? Oh, cool. And then like come back and be like, oh, thanks for telling me where the loos were. That was, you know, that's great. I couldn't find them. They were, oh, it's such a confusing building. How are you anyway? Or like, sorry to bother you, but I can't find my program. Do you know what time this event is at? One time, and this is when I lived in a flat on my own, and I was just having a bit of a weird time, and I had this night where I knew I was getting this spiral of getting down, and I was like, do you know what? I feel like I just really need a dance. And like, you know, it was already like 10 at night, and all my friends were like either already out, or like it was unfair to ring them and be like, do you want to go out? So I put on like party clothes and did all my makeup, and I went to like the nearest kind of dance venue to me that was like, that I was comfortable in and I knew. I went up to the bar, dressed to the nines, sober, ordered one shot, went up to the dance floor, saw this group of girls, this group of strangers, and I just walked up to them and I was like, oh, I'm so drunk. Sorry, I've lost my friends. I don't know where they've gone. Do you mind if I dance with you guys? And they were like, oh my God, sure. And I kind of adopted this group of girlfriends for the night, and it was really fun. And I don't think there's anything wrong with those kind of little openers that are technically not true, but also like ways for you to interact with a human that you like. Number 4, try not to look at your phone. So there will be times in networking events or parties where you're on your own and you can't see an opener, or it looks like everybody is in really in-depth conversations. At those points, try and not pull your phone out. When I see somebody who's on their own at a party looking interested or peering around, and I think, oh, that person looks alright, they look quite comfortable with themselves and they're on their own, I'm going to talk to them, because most people are nice and most people want to get you out of a situation like that and include you. If you're on your phone, it looks like you're busy. You might be doing a work email, texting a boyfriend, doing something else, and I feel vulnerable going up to you and including you in the group or starting a conversation because I think that I might be interrupting you. There's a chance for me of being rejected, so I don't go up to people who are on their phones. And that's a mistake that I used to make that then I noticed I was making. The automatic thing is to go, I'm on my own, everybody must be looking at me, or I've got a spare minute, I'm gonna check my phone. While it makes you feel less awkward in the moment, in the long term it has the opposite effect. A way that I learned to deal with this, or when I realised that I was like having problems being on my own in public and feeling like everybody was watching me, I started purposely going to art galleries and like stuff where things were quiet and there were other people around, but I also had to be quiet. And I went there on my own and I kind of sat with myself. So I think it's a really good way to like realise that you might not be really comfortable with yourself and go to art galleries on your own and just be comfortable being on your own in public and looking interested. Number 5, it's okay to go to the loo. Now everybody knows like Katie Harron sitting in her cubicle, and that sounds tragic, but actually you haven't failed at an event or failed at a party or ruined the night by going to the toilet for half an hour, because if you don't know anybody, they're not going to notice that you've gone. It doesn't matter how long you're in there for or how long it takes to come out again. And I still do this sometimes. If I'm having a nervous night or a bit of an anxiety-ridden night, like I will go to the toilet for 10 minutes, sit on the toilet, check my phone. Sometimes I put my headphones in and just listen to a few songs and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go back out. The toilet never judges you. The toilet isn't on a timer like, right, you've been in here 20 minutes, you're a tragic mofo now. Equally, as part of this, if it helps, is that it's okay to have an escape route. It's okay to have a reason in your head, like you have those 3 talking points to go to the party with, have a reason that you have to leave in your head. And now, again, could be a white lie. I don't think it's hurting anybody. Nobody really knows. But if you have like a logical reason that you know in your head you can say to people, if you feel like, I just need to get out of here, I've had enough, then have it. I do it all the time. If it's not my night, if I don't feel like I'm enjoying it, I don't feel like I'm like present, it's okay to go. Try another night. There's loads of other things going on. I realised ages ago it was my best friend's birthday tonight, but I really wanted to come to this, so I said to myself I'll come to this for an hour. Now I've got to go to her birthday meal. That one's a bit outlandish, but you get the idea. Or like, oh yeah, sorry, I've got to go, got a really early start tomorrow, big shoot, big meeting. But it was lovely being here. Always say bye to the host, and remember, it's always okay to just go, I've got to go. You don't need to say why. People generally don't really ask you why, because they usually respect your privacy or go like, oh, probably not a thing. You know, I don't know. Basically, you're overthinking it. If you're like me, you're overthinking it. The last point of advice, that when I started doing it, it was like this instant networking hack that I was like, oh, it was there under my nose the whole time. Being honest. How many times have I walked into a situation or into a networking event, seen a group of people that look vaguely friendly, and just gone up to them and gone, oh, can I do that awkward thing where I ask you what your job is and what you do and say hi because I'm on my own and I don't know anybody? People generally respond best to honesty, which is like kind of converse to my other advice, but also if you're feeling like brash honesty that you can have a laugh at yourself about, then I say go for it. I'm always going like, oh, sorry, can I awkwardly join your group? Oh, I know, I'm so awkward. Whoa. I feel like I'm not supposed to be here. I barely know anybody. Can I chat to you and ask them all about them? Chances are they're also feeling like they shouldn't be here, or if they feel like they should be here, they want to make you feel like you should be here. Again, I try and laugh at the construct of networking. So I'll go like, oh, hi, what's your name? And they'll be like, oh, Jessica. And I'll be like, oh, what do you do? Oh, I hate the term, what do you do? I mean, it sounds like that's all you are. You know what I mean? Like, what do you do for money? Or like, you know, how do you spend your days? You know, and like, I try and rephrase it on the spot, because that's genuinely what I think every time I go to say the phrase, what do you do? But be honest about that, laugh at yourself, be like, oh, guess I'm gonna have to ask you what your job is, but oh, there's a strength and something attractive about that kind of genuineness. I've never had somebody come up to me at a party and go, oh, I feel awkward, and I'm like, all right, and walk off. Get in the boat with people. Everybody is in the boat. These are the secrets. I hope that helped. I'm sure you guys have got some great tips for networking as well, so please leave those in the comments, and I will see you in my next one. Frog Snug out.